Partner 5000, poured it up, and I'm currently working on converting it to alcohol. So this is going to be the first time I've tried to put it in wood. I have no idea how she's going to handle. She could be lean, she could be rich. You know what I mean? This is literally the first time I've tried to put her in a piece of wood with alcohol. So we'll see how she goes. Whenever I was running it on the bench last night, she seemed like she might be getting enough fuel, but then she might not be. So on the free rev, the problem is it's like it starves out, like it starts running out of fuel. So it only gets up there for a second, maybe two. And then from there, she just starts like it's running out of fuel. And then she kind of starts dying off. Now, you know, we might need to figure out something to get it to be able to pump fuel faster or move fuel faster through the carb. But there's a chance that the salt don't even, you know, in the piece of wood, it may not even need it. She might, you know, be cutting it like 15,000 or 13,000 or something and not need to worry about it so much. But on free rev, after about a second, she just starts starving out and dying. So this may not be a good session, but it might be. We're gonna find out here. She had an air leak. The intake boot was split, so I fixed that. And another issue I'm finding is the rubber mounts here for the handlebar. She tweaks on the throttle linkage there, and she screws with the idle. You know what I mean? As you're handling it, this little bit of movement on the handlebar will cause the idle to fluctuate. So we might look at making this more of a solid mount. We'll see. We'll see how this progresses. You know what I mean? Now, I've been tuning it thinking one thing, and I'm thinking that it might actually be because of that. So let's go ahead and fire it up, see what happens. Now, it will start without a choke. I can just, you know, if I pull on the cord a few times, she will start. I just started it, so she's starting without a prime or without a choke or anything, so I'm hoping the idle circuit is rich enough. You know what I mean? I've opened everything up on the carb, so both the high and the low circuit have been opened up. And it is a 660 carb. The chain has been sharpened, but I don't know. I'm skeptical that it's going to be a good sharpening. We'll see. My grinding stone for my grinder is too small to really get in there properly. It's pretty much wore out. I ordered some more, but I'm skeptical that it's going to be a good sharpening, you know? Let's fire it up and see what happens. there she is. She's exactly what I was expecting. Same situation I ran into in the shop there last night. As time goes on, she just starts leaning out. So a little bit more work to do. She feels like she's going to take off pretty good. I just got to get enough fuel thrown at it. And I had to order more drill bits. So my drill bits, the size I think I need, I broke it the last time I was doing this. So I ordered a whole new set. And yeah, as soon as I get here, I'm going to get to working on that carburetor a little more. She's getting close though. She's just starving out a little bit. So I think we're getting close. And I'll be curious to see how she turns out once we get her. You know what I mean? But there she is. That's the start of the conversion. And if you're curious, she's swallowing a considerable amount of fuel right now, and it's kind of funny how much fuel it takes to get these things to convert. And I find it's a whole lot easier on a stock saw. It's whenever you port them, and you port them to be able to consume the fuel and move a large volumes of fuel. So if you don't know what I'm talking about, so there's a way of porting. The most common way of porting is to improve the efficiency of the engine. That's tightening up your squish, all that stuff, better compression. That stuff is all like improving on what you've already got there to gain more power. And then this one is ported for that as well, but it's also done to help it move a larger volume of air and fuel through it. You know what I mean? So it's kind of like both. We'll see though. That's the first attempt. It's going to take a few more. It's going to take a few more tries till we're there. You know what I mean? Now, this log here is actually, I'm getting ready to, I got to cut it up for firewood. I figured if this saw took off, I'd just go ahead and cut this guy up for firewood, but we're going to go ahead, run in here real quick, grab another saw, and that's it. That's the last firewood log. If you look over here, that's where that triaxle load of logs was sitting. All gone. And down there where the boys are playing, see that pile of wood? The big one, I said in the last video, the big one I was going to save for future videos, and here that sucker split right in half on me, so she's toast. But that's what I got left to do for the firewood, is just go through that pile, split what I need to split, and I bet you half or 3/4 of it ain't even going to need split. So that's all that's left to do though. And then we're getting another triaxle load. Now, what do you say I run in here, grab another saw? I have no idea what it's going to be. What do you think we should run? What should we run? Since we got running alcohol today, what do you say we continue with that? So, John Cutter 5800 on alcohol with expansion chamber. What do you say? Let's go with that one. All right, there she is, John Cutter 5800 with an expansion chamber, and it runs on alcohol. This one is not what I would consider ported. We did adjust the intake timing, but that's about it, you know? So I'm actually curious to know about how much power it has. I talked to him a little while ago about it, and I need to get a hold of him. I think we're gonna send it to him, put it on a dyno, and see what it does. So what do you say we cut up this final log with the John Cutter, and you know, just for fun, we're gonna firewood that guy. She's not meant to be a test dog, you know. This is a square hand-filed chain. The last hand-filed chain I have currently running. Ever since I got the grinder, I stopped hand filing. And for those of you who are wondering, hand filing, I don't know. I don't think there's much of a difference between the hand file and the grinder. And in some ways, the hand file might actually be easier. Just because, you know, everything is kind of preset with a file, whereas the grinder, you have to tweak every little thing to get it just right, you know? So in many ways, a hand file could be, I don't know, I would consider it easier. So yeah, keep that in mind. There she is. Funny thing is, that chain is at half its life, and because I put it on square, it's starting to stretch more. The chain pulls harder now. I made that hand filing a bit aggressive, you know? So, yeah. My personal opinion about the hand file versus a grind On square, right now, in some ways, the hand file is easier. But once I get the grinder set up, there will be no guesswork, you know what I mean? It'll just be go, 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 go. You know, I'm still tweaking that grinder to get it the way I like it. You know what I mean? So once I get her, it'll be, you know, just go. But as far as hand file is concerned versus a grinder, there really isn't much of a difference. You know, it's practice mostly. Your ability to sharpen really well. It's your practicing. That's where it's going to come in to play the most. So yeah, there she is. So yeah, we'll get a dyno run on it, see what kind of power she's producing. I'm hoping she exceeds 6, but we'll see how she goes. It'd be cool if she hit 7 or so, wouldn't it? Even 8. It'd be kind of cool if it hit 8, but I don't think it's an 8-horse saw. I mean, I have 8-horse saws, and it's not that powerful. I think she's going to be closer to 6, 6.5, 7, somewhere in there. We'll see, though. Well, there you go. A little video cutting up the very last log out of the Traxxle load that we're going to firewood. And that'd be it. It's time to finish working on those other rounds and work at getting another load in. One load after another, you know what I mean? This next load, though, I don't think I'm going to be as much of a hurry to get it done. I wasn't in a big hurry to get this one done, but I didn't want to screw around, you know? I'm just sitting here kind of relaxing now. All the cleanup is done, you know? Well, in this area, as you can see, my burn pile, everything, it's all gone. One of the next projects is I got that stash of stuff there. Those are the stumps or what I use to make stands for the event, like the event I have coming up here in July. And what I'll do is I'll set up like 5 or 6 cutting stations, kind of make like a horseshoe shape here. And that's what those are for. But I want to move them out of there and kind of grade that out. And that'll be my new testing area. I might do that tomorrow, you know? But I still got to play with that firewood down there and everything. I'm just sitting here relaxing though. Listening to the birds, you know? Still haven't seeded the field. Still haven't decided what kind of seed I want to put down. Either we're going to go for grass or we're going to go for something a little heavier in clover. We might go for something a little heavier in clover. You know, I could always just let her run wild though. And just keep mowing it because it'll all come up in grass. I mean, every spring that pops up really heavily in grass. So there's a lot of grass that'll grow up in there. It's just because I kind of stirred it up that it's not growing right now. So technically I really don't have to do anything. It will come up, you know. There'll be a lot of weeds mixed in with it, sure. But, you know, but that's kind of where we're at today. I actually didn't really, how would you say it, exert a lot of energy on this. It really didn't take a lot of energy at all. The tractor did all the work, you know. So I still got to stack up all that wood though, all of it that I just cut and cleaned up and everything. She all still needs stacked. But that'll wait for another day. We might get into that project there tomorrow though. We'll see. I'm trying not to overdo it, but I'm trying not to be bored at the same time, you know. So I'm just I have a seat sitting right here next to the building. And I just kind of sit here relaxing. But in case you're wondering, I actually do think I feel a little better now after the heart attack than what I did before the heart attack. I do not get winded as nearly as easily. And I got to be careful because I could probably actually overdo it, you know. So I'm just trying to be careful with it and not get into too much too quick. But I do actually feel better now than what I did before. So, yeah, go figure. But anyway, we'll catch you on the next one. Later.